talk, and that is none other than our very own Kenyan bodybuilders who made us proud in Romania. That is Eldon Achara and Lucindy Rangu. Thank you so much, guys, for making your time to join me here today.
Thank you for listening.
You're welcome. Now, how was the experience for you in Romania? Achara, let me start with you.
It was quite a nice experience, having been able to compete on an international stage. It was my first time, so it was really challenging a bit, but interesting, I can say.
Lucy?
It was more of a, I would say for now, the biggest lessons I've had in bodybuilding, having to meet athletes from all over the world. It's nothing like I anticipated. The toughness of the stage, and also the excitement of it all, and also just being there was like a big accomplishment for me.
Lucy, just as you've said, the toughness of it all, I mean, what stood out for you when it came to the tougher challenge, considering you had also been preparing for the same event with other competitors?
One, I've never been to a competition with such a long lineup of athletes. Normally, I'm used to having the longest lineup I've ever been was 8 people. And going up against almost 40 athletes from over the world, and the best of the best, it's tough, it's huge. As much as you prepared, and then they are also prepared, and some of them have been on to bigger stages, and it's your first time on that stage, it's challenging, but in an exciting way.
Achara, do you share the sentiments with Lucy there?
Yeah, I agree. All preps are tough. If you come to think of it, you are on a certain diet for 14 to 16 weeks, so it's a tough process where you have to eat a certain way, where you have to cut out some activities and just stay on the preparation mode. So it's mentally it's a tough process, I can say.
You were among those who really stood out in this competition, managing a silver medal. How did it feel listening your name being called out on that stage?
After doing the preparations well, I didn't expect to place where I placed. I thought I would take the first position, but I came in second, of which is not a bad thing, as in it was my first show. It felt really nice being able to put in work and being able to see results at the same time. Yes.
Now, considering Kenya's performance, what does that tell you about bodybuilding in the country, Lucy, especially for women?
What I would say first, we are appreciating the fact that we're being recognized as a sport, which hasn't been the case for the longest time. And also, as much as we are not as many women in the sport as in other sports, having someone like myself, Evelyn, Mikala, Sam, and other athletes who've gone outside, it's like women are also pushing the sport to not look like a men's world. We are getting into that world, and we are taking our space. And that's huge for female athletes, especially here in Kenya, where people don't really understand women in muscle. And we have to keep telling people it's okay for women to have muscle. It's okay to choose a different kind of beauty. It's okay to not look normal. So that's the gospel I keep preaching and keep telling people, choose your kind of beautiful. Just like we have rugby female players. So it's okay to also see women with muscle walking around. It's okay, and we don't look like men. We have to keep reminding people muscle won't make you look like a man. You'll still be feminine, but different in a good kind of way.
How do you deal with that attention that you get, being a woman with muscle?
For now, it doesn't affect me that much. Like I would say when I was starting, like compliments like you look like a man don't even get to me anymore. It's like, okay, I'm okay with looking like that. And then things like appearing intimidating, but that's not your intention. But then we always appear like that to most people. Maybe to them we don't, because they're used to us with muscle. But to most people we appear intimidating, both because of the physical strength and the appearance that is not what's expected of our society's standards of a woman. But then when you keep doing it and you keep talking to people and you start stepping into the shoes of a mentor of many people. So to you, those critics become like a fuel to fight them and to stand for others who can't stand for themselves.
Now, Achara, you mentioned some very important points that is to do with the dynamics of bodybuilding, dieting, and whatnot. In this particular competition, just break it down to us. I mean, what are some of the things that were being focused on while all of you were lined up there competing?
So the criteria that the judges used to pick up the best athlete was they looked at someone who's shredded. By shredded, I mean he has less fat. Like physically, you can see them, you can see muscles, and then they were looking at someone who is fuller, in the sense that the muscles look full of glycogen, and also someone big, because it's a bodybuilding show. They're looking at someone who's bigger on stage and has less fat, and they look shredded. That's the criteria they used to pick the winner. Yes.
Individually speaking, how many hours maybe did you spend at the gym? Just break down your preparations in general.
So my preparations, for me, I would wake up very early in the morning, let's say around 4 a.m. I do my cardio for around 40 minutes. After that, I take in my clients, and then later on, I go to the gym for 2 hours, work on a muscle group. Maybe let's say I'll do legs for 2 hours, and then that's it. Also, my meals have to be in a certain way. So there are people who find it difficult to like make their own meals and everything. So there are other companies that do that for you. Like for me, I run a meal prep service company called Eat Clean Achara. They do count calories for people trying to get into shape. So for me, the company does everything for me. They calculate the macros I need in a week. As we continue getting closer to the show, they keep adjusting the macros and everything.
And Lucy, how easy or hard was your preparation process?
I would say mine was this season, because they are different seasons. This season was challenging because as I was preparing, like the responsibility don't shift. You still have to see clients, yet your training becomes intense. And then there was my partner, Evelyn. She had competition, so there was a period where she was away, and then I have like to double the responsibility. I had to see more clients on her behalf, and then but normally I wake up like at 3:30. I do like a 30 minutes cardio in the house. Then I go to the gym. I see clients from 10 minutes to 5 up to 10 a.m. Then I train whichever muscle group I'm training on that day. Then after training, I still have to add like another 30 minutes of cardio. After that, I have to nap for 1 hour, and then I have to pick clients again to end the day. And then you have to, our meals are timed, like you can't miss a meal and you can't eat it like on a later hour. So it's breakfast at 7, there's a snack at 10, there's another meal at 1, there's another at 3, there's another at 6. There are all those meals. And everything is structured. You have to know between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. you've done like 6 liters of water. So even the water, you have to time your water intake so that you finish by in that minimum. And that is for a whole 16 weeks. You have to be on track, recording, calculating, recording.
And with both of you, the participation in the World Championships, of course, there are a lot of expectations that come with that. But what are you looking at in the future after this event, Achara?
So after the previous event we've had, now going forward, we will love to have a proper federation where everything comes out in a proper structured way, where the athletes and the federation are able to work together to benefit everyone. Yes.
Lucy, how about you?
I would say going forward, I would say we need more support as athletes, especially as local, especially as as a sport that people don't view as a sport but like a leisure activity. Would love more support from the government, from the media, like the way now you're doing, like showcasing the sport as a sport, and also as, let's say, like a structure that guides us all the way. For example, for us to get to NBA, there was a structure we qualified for at the Kamukunji annual talent search that pushed us forward. So we need more competitions, that kind of structure where, you know, if you do this, it gets you to the next level. If you go to the next level, it gets you to the next level. For like one of us, Kelly, who won gold, now the structure from qualifying to Kamukunji to the World Championship to becoming a pro, now he's able to compete on bigger events in the structure of INBA because of that kind of steps. We need those steps in future. And more financial support.
Of course, we look forward to much more stellar performances from both of you and the rest of the bodybuilders in future. But thank you so much for joining us once again right here on KTN Scoreline.
Thank you
for having us.
As you've had a lot takes into becoming who they are.